What's up and welcome back to the Run the North podcast. I am your host, the Geek Slash, joined as always by, I don't know, I have a lot of co-hosts. I can't call you all my favorite co-hosts in the world. So this is Miller Football. How you doing, Miller?
I'm doing okay. The government stole my blood today. So
Why?
So I'm an adult now. I know that's hard to believe,
It is pretty tough.
but I am an adult man. And so I went to the doctor the other day because I have asthma, and there's like a maintenance drug I have to take twice a day that helps me not have asthma attacks and like helps me breathe normally. And my doctor sucks because every time it runs out, instead of giving me refills on it, they're just like, yeah,
you really
tough
need
shit.
this? Oh,
Yeah, and
That's
I have to like
worse.
go in and get it figured out half the time. It's a pain in the ass. It's ridiculous. It wasn't this way for a long time, but now the doctor office that I go to is under new management, and they switch insurance providers like every 5 minutes, so it's a whole mess. So I go in and for my medicine, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, now that you're an adult, you have to start getting blood work done." I was like, "Okay," so I went in, got blood work done today. Just because I hadn't gotten blood work done since I was like 16.
I haven't had blood work done in years.
Well, my blood pressure was also really high when I went in because of stress.
I was going to say, my blood pressure's high every time I go into the doctor's office. You want to know why? I'm in public. That raises my blood pressure.
Well, I was in public, and also I hadn't had my medication that helps me breathe normal in 3 days.
You know, that matters. That matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, maybe this was a situation that you manufactured. Why must I hand over my precious blood to serve your purposes?
Hand over my precious blood. I probably should get another blood test done now that I think about it, but that's a problem for, I don't know, winter me. Let's see if I survive the TwitchCon trip, then we'll worry about blood tests.
It was really funny though, because so I had my nurse took me back, and then when the doctor came in, it was a doctor that I hadn't had before, and she is an immigrant. She came over here from somewhere in Africa, and she has a very, very thick accent, and I'm not going to try to replicate it or anything, obviously, for obvious reasons. I'm just saying, in case that assumption was there, I'm not going to.
It wasn't, but now it is.
Well, no, I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't be able to do it justice. She was a very kind lady. I don't want to like insult her in any way. But she looks at me and she goes, like, after looking at my blood test, or not my blood test, my blood pressure, she was looking through my files for a couple seconds, and she goes, "You're a college student." And I just kind of looked at her and said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh, that explains it."
Nice. Nice.
And I was like, "Yeah, I guess that, and the fact that I haven't had my medication." She goes, "Yeah, that'll do it." And then just ignored me for the next like 3 minutes. And it's like, how are you going to acknowledge that me not having my medication is part of the problem, and then not say like, "We're going to get that sorted for you"? Or like, "We'll get that handled. We'll get that taken care of." Instead, she just looked at her computer. I was terrified for those 3 minutes because I really thought she was going to say I was shit out of luck.
Nice.
Man.
That'd be
But anyways,
interesting.
how are you, Geek, other than needing a blood test?
I don't really need one. I'm all right.
You have to hand over your blood to the
I
government, I'm
finally got
afraid.
my tattoo finished. It is still healing, but I'm finally done, I
It is-
think. So that's
That's good.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. After finding out I was allergic to white ink, it ended up taking a lot longer than wanted.
You can be allergic to ink?
Yeah. And you can be allergic only to certain pigments of it also.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like you can be allergic to only red ink.
Huh.
Or only white in my case.
Yeah.
Which is
Huh.
fun.
Ooh, I also wanted to mention, because that reminded me of a tattoo that I plan on getting at some point.
Bro's got plans.
I do. I have tattoo plans. I just have no funds for them.
Valid.
But I want to flex this, so be prepared. Have you ever played Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yes.
Okay. So this Saturday, the day after this will go up, I get to meet both Arthur Morgan and John Marston in person.
Okay.
And I'm very excited about that. This is my first time getting to meet a celebrity I'm aware of.
So you're going to have them sign each eye, like under eye, and then go get that tattooed.
No, I actually was considering having them like do something small that I could get tattooed because Red Dead's my favorite game of all time.
Right.
And like the development Arthur goes through, genuinely the first time I played it inspired me to be a better man. And I try to live my life somewhat like Arthur Morgan. I know that's corny, but like I fucking
like
love
it.
that game. That
I
game
like
means everything to me. So part of me did want to be like, what if I get Roger Clark to like draw a hat and I'll get that tattooed on me or some shit. But like, I don't know. I'm considering it, but I haven't thought it out yet, which is a problem because it is now Wednesday and I go on Saturday.
Yeah, and then you'd have to go get a tattoo that day.
True. Unless I like had them draw it on a piece of paper and then just save the paper.
Yeah, that could work. But yeah. The other big thing when it comes to getting a tattoo is you have to find an artist whose work you like, and then an artist who, like, after they do a piece, do you vibe with this artist? Do you want to keep going to them? Because at least to me, I don't want to be the person who goes to a different tattoo artist every time I get a tattoo. I don't know. It won't. Nothing'll flow, man. Like, and I'm down to have other artists. I've had 2 technically, but that's because the first one, it was weird. My first tattoo appointment, so that was the social media logos one, because of a birthday stream like sub goal thing. I'd go get the logos. The artist I had scheduled with, I had scheduled online, but apparently they had just set up their online scheduling thing and it never actually put me on the schedule, even though I had an appointment. So he's like, yeah, dude, I am fully booked for the day. I can't do it. And somebody else was there that said they could. And I was like, okay, cool. Whatever.
Valid.
I'm just here for the thing. And you can't really fuck this one up. So cool. I don't really care. Like,
yeah.
So
yeah, the only reason I don't have tattoos is because those motherfuckers are expensive.
Yeah, depends. It depends on how big they are. All shops have like a shop minimum, so this is like the lowest that you get a tattoo for, no matter what it is. And then it's all just time and how many sessions it takes. That's where you'll get got. My Shield one ended up being way more expensive than originally planned, and that's just because I had to go in 3 times.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You see, that's my thing though. I don't think I'd get anything that big. Like, I don't even know where I'd get tattoos either.
You afraid to get them on your arms where people can see them?
No, I'm not. It's just I don't know how I'd make that work or how I'd make it look.
I mean, shit, like, I rocked just social media logos on my arm for a long time.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to fill this arm up. I kind of think I want to get the, like, game theory, film theory, food theory, and style theory.
That would be
logos
sick
down
as
here.
fuck.
Yeah.
I'd respect that. That'd be awesome.
You got the Unisonus, you get the theory stuff. Gotta figure out. So we've had this conversation a lot. I can't visualize things.
Yeah.
So I definitely thought the Shield one was going to be bigger. I'm not mad that it's not. I didn't know. So, like, I have more room on my arm than I thought I was going to have. So I get to plan so many more tattoos than originally thought. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, the theory ones down here would be cool. I have another one planned for here that I'm getting soon. Going to finish off the inner forearm, which is, have you seen Game of Thrones?
I have not. I need to. But I've not.
So Arya Stark.
Yeah, I know who she is from Multiverses.
Right. So at the beginning of the show, she's like, does the whole conversation with her dad about how she doesn't want to do all the girly shit. She wants to sword fight and do all that stuff. So her dad hires her a dancing teacher who teaches her how to sword fight.
Right.
And this dancing teacher and her talking, she brings up the gods. And there's only one god, girl, and his name is Death. And what do we say to Death? Not today. After a promise I made with my aunt a long time ago about lots of things, me and her are both getting a not today tattoo.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah, mine's gonna be a little different than hers. She's gonna do a bunch of stuff around it. I'm gonna in script above it have Valar Morghulis, which I don't know what language that actually is. I don't know if it's a real language or a George R.R. Martin invented one, but it just means all men must die. So it'll just
Oh,
all men must die, not today.
huh,
Kind of a
that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have a whole fucking sleeve I want to get soon for this arm, like hand up to elbow. I think I've told you about this one, the like gravestone with the Valkyrie overlooking it
Yeah.
and all the yeah. So that I'm kind of want to finish both like forearms and hands by the end of this year. That's kind of my goal. Don't know if I
Yeah.
can because money. But
Right.
that's goal.
Right. My big thing is I have like a bunch of like little things I want to get.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess I could hypothetically do them on my forearms, but the spacing I'd have to figure out the spacing
So
and stuff.
I'm patchworking these, and you can kind of see my like around stuff is gonna
Yeah.
be just like there's just gonna be stuff, and then it's gonna be connected by the like black squigglies, venom.
Yeah.
So it's like you can get all the stuff, and then afterwards you can do the squiggly shit around it as venom, and then it's a
Okay.
tattoo that means something anyways also,
Yeah.
and it fills
I
up
could
all
do
the
that
extra
with
space.
like fucking cyberpunk or some shit.
Yeah.
Make it look like my arms an attachment or whatever.
Yeah,
Jesus, I
I've
just
been
lost my voice for a second.
I've been kind of planning to add red and make it like a Venom and Carnage thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
I had to wait and see if I was allergic to red too, because the spot you could tell I was allergic to stuff was like where there was a bunch of white mixed into the red, and I was like,
Gotcha.
the regular red healed fine, but it like had a bad reaction here, so like I don't know.
Right.
So I wanted to wait and see how just red would do, and that was fine. So good.
Valid.
But I think 12 minutes is enough talk about tattoos
Jesus,
and
that was
life.
12 minutes?
I'm doing okay, by the way. We got a little distracted. What are we talking about today? Oh, right. We're going to start a series over the next 9-10 weeks, give or take. Originally, the plan was just to bring in our top 10 players at certain positions and talk about them, argue about them. Instead, on the episode, we're going to try to come to a consensus top 10 at these positions. Today, we're going to do both tight ends and wide receivers because the breaking news of the week is Justin Jefferson finally has a contract.
And also
I'm
Jalen
shocked.
Waddle.
Overpaid.
What?
Yeah.
You can't seriously believe that.
You're calling me crazy for agreeing with Brett Coleman. Okay.
I don't know. Let me see this Brett Coleman
So
tweet.
it's about saying you're paying wide receiver 1 money to a guy who's not a wide receiver 1. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1, but I also don't think there's that many wide receiver 1s in the NFL. You can be a top 32 receiver, be a top 20 receiver, and not be a wide receiver 1.
I guess you could call it a slight overpay.
So that's what I'm saying. It's an overpay.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Yeah. And until they get a quarterback, it's a problem because Tua can only exist for like, one more year until you have to pay him money. And unless Tua's going to be Baker and take $20 million a year, it ain't going to work.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Dolphins team building philosophy is all out of fucking whack. Like, me and Patrick were talking about that on his podcast. It's a mess. They have no idea what they're doing. They're building for, like, next year while also trying to mortgage the future, and it's like, pick a fucking side. You're not competing next year. We all know that, Miami. Much love. You're not winning next year.
This year, they could.
No.
Yeah, all they need is
going into
the entire defensive line to get healthy.
Right.
Yes.
That's the problem. And then for them to go into this is slightly unrelated, but just a tangent about the Dolphins because I'm so pissed about their team right now.
Okay.
They go into the draft with no intention of drafting an interior offensive or defensive lineman, which is like objectively the 2 weakest spots on their team.
Yeah.
And instead they come away with 2 wide receivers, fucking Morgan Moses built right tackle after they just paid a right tackle, and 2 rotational edge rushers.
Yeah, but they have OBJ, which guarantees you a conference championship appearance.
I mean, you know, I don't like Odell, but I like the Odell signing for them because he's very fitting. They needed like an over the middle anything, and that is all
they
he is
needed
at
a
this
guy
point,
who
which is great.
you could just use as a hey, catch this ball guy.
Yeah,
Like their version of a Travis Kelce, because like Tyreek doesn't always handle that big moment where you just need 10 yards. That's not his game.
Yeah.
And that is Odell's game. His game just used to be he'd catch it at 10 yards and then break it for 100 because fuck you, I'm Odell. Now he's breaking it for 15 maybe. He might pick up 5 yards. Just also don't make him run across the painted midfield mark because that's bad. And
very true.
Remember, everybody, Odell should be a Super Bowl MVP. He should be.
I'm not going to disagree, but my religion won't allow me to agree.
Fair. But that you can't lie. That was the hottest start to a Super Bowl a receiver's ever had. Bro was cooking.
He was, yeah.
And then that damn logo.
Yeah.
Which everybody said was like, we knew that was going to be a problem. And Odell's just Odell, so he's like, whatever, I got it. He in fact did not.
He went over and said, I'm pussy.
So
no, he was like the one fucking Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it's Jujutsu Kaisen fucking comic panel where it's like, nah, I'd win.
Right, for sure.
I think that's gonna kill me if I got that wrong.
Then for the other big contract, the Justin Jefferson one, I mean, highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Technically would only be the 15th highest paid quarterback. He's below Daniel Jones, but that's not Justin Jefferson's fault. He's like, the Giants fucked up royally on that one. There's nothing you can do about that. Nothing you can do about that. Why are you paying him 40 M's a year? What kind of bozo gives out that contract?
You know, remember when I tried to play devil's advocate for that, and I was like, "What else are they gonna do?" And it's like they could have done literally anything else.
You know who was an option at the time? Baker fucking Mayfield.
Yeah.
Now, Baker might not have had a career resurgence with the Giants, but he also might have, because Dable's like good at coaching. So like, he coulda. But yeah, the Justin Jefferson thing, the only thing I'm surprised about, I saw a couple people try to tell me that it was an underpay, which just makes no sense.
$40 million a year, take it or leave it.
Well, I would have paid him more. It's like, oh, so you're just dumb. I don't know, man. Like, what? If he's going to agree at 35, why would you be like, no, I want to give you 40? No, I'll take the cap relief. I'll go sign Dalton Reisner with that extra $5 million. Sick.
And I think the best part about this contract, too, is like by the start of the season, it's going to look like a bargain because CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase will probably be making more per year.
Yep. Like, it's going to immediately become the greatest contract ever. We signed him at... It's
one of the second greatest.
Who's this the first?
Mahomes. The contract that keeps on giving.
That's
where he signed for 10 years and now he's like 8th in the league in average pay per year or whatever at quarterback.
Yeah. But hey, he got $500 million.
He did, but it's over 10 years.
Dude, I'm so mad that so in the MLB, you can get paid whatever you want. I'm so mad that the video game won't let you do that. It caps it at $40 million a year. Like, I'm playing through the Road to the Show for my YouTube channel, and my character has won 4 straight MVPs and has been a Cy Young. He's both the best hitter, the best fielder, and the best pitcher in baseball. And all I can sign for is $40 million a year. It's like, no, I should be getting the first ever 10-year, $1 billion contract. Like, that should... If that happened in real life, you would be getting billions of dollars at that point because you'd be so astronomically good. It's like Shohei Ohtani cranked.
I was just getting ready to say, what did he make? What did he get?
$700 million. So like,
I knew it was something
you're
unreal.
just adding a little bit on top of that for a guy who, by definition, would be playing better.
And just think he gets to keep like 450 million of that after he's done gambling. That's crazy. That's
Hey,
so
it
much
wasn't
money.
him. It was his translator stealing from him.
Okay. Have they said they're going to investigate that?
They did. The federal government did.
They did. Oh, they already did.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, you know I'm not up to date with
No, yeah,
baseball. I
for
just
sure.
remember that being a thing.
Yeah, I remember them doing it because everybody was like, "Oh, they're gonna find out it was Shohei," and then they're like, "No."
I was gonna say,
and it turns out he lost more money than he thought he did, which kind of helps him actually. Like, oh, they're like, this much was missing, and they're like, no, it was more, and he's like, oh,
that's incredible.
Also,
I love that.
might be the greatest contract in all of sports history because while he's getting paid that, it's all deferred to after the contract, basically. Average annual value wise, he's technically making like 10 mil a year. He's making because he can live off his endorsements anyways. So the Dodgers are just paying him for the next 100 years, which is way smarter. It's like the Bobby Bonilla contract. I know you've like heard about that just because Bobby Bonilla Day, he retired 20 years ago and the Mets are still paying him $2 million a year.
Like, I know who you're talking about. I didn't know by name, but I know the situation.
Because I don't know. Did you ever have a class in high school where they like, you got to watch like the CNN, like weird school
CNN
day?
10?
Maybe. I don't know if that's what
CNN 10 with Carla Zeus?
Yeah, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it might have been named something different
Carla
a little
Zeus.
before that because our timelines don't exactly match.
Yeah, but it's Carl freaking Zeus.
But they would have like the ESPN cutaway for a little bit where they'd talk about a sports thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember every year getting Bobby Bonilla Day. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Yeah.
I'm almost positive I heard about it through that.
Yeah.
But I think specifically the one I remember is that came up and then Carla Zeus made a bunch of Bobby Bonilla puns because that's how he'd close out the segments.
Yeah.
He'd make a bunch of puns. Him and Chris Hansen, man. Two totally different people that did different things, but like admirable people. Chris Hansen like scammed a bunch of his fans.
I wouldn't know. Scott Hansen, though, Mr. NFL Red Zone man, is apparently a giant Marvel nerd.
Yeah, dude.
Have you been seeing those clips on TikTok?
I just want to say I am one person removed from Scott Hansen.
What do you mean one person removed?
Hat Guy is my boy.
What do you mean Hat Guy's your boy?
He's been on my channel twice.
What?
You didn't know about this?
No.
Yeah. No. He was on one of my team previews before their podcast blew up.
When's the crossover episode happening?
Dude, I will tell you right now. Do you want me to get him on here? Because he will absolutely come on here.
I can guarantee you he will. I'm so down.
I can 100% guarantee you he would come over on the North if I asked him.
That'd be so sick. The crossover would be so sick.
I fucking love Hat Guy because so he came on before they started their channel. And then I remember they blew up and I saw him on TikTok a couple times. I was like, there's no way it's the same guy. Turns out it's the same guy. So then I DM'd him last summer to come on the Rams because he's a big Rams fan. I DM'd him to come on the Rams team preview. And in my mind, I was like, he's Hollywood. He's not going to come on. I get it. Not like a slight at him, just like he's too busy. He's got shit going on. He was like, you give me a time and place, I'll be there. This motherfucker came in his car sitting in traffic. He sat and did the team preview with me. And I was like, oh my God. And he came on and I was like, I was a little, not starstruck, but I was like gassing him up a little bit at the start, being like the man himself. And he goes, well, listen, I'm here with my goat, Miller Football, who I absolutely adore. And I was like, damn. Yeah, no, I didn't even, because I found out about it through Grayson, because Grayson DM'd me exactly, you are one person removed from Scott Hansen. And I was like, what are you talking about? I click on the video and I'm like, holy shit.
That's a dub.
But yeah, no. I will act. I hadn't even thought about doing that. I will absolutely hit him up at some point within the next couple of weeks, and we will get him on Run the North at some point.
Dubs. Sorry, I just opened up PFF. Always a mistake.
Why would you do that?
I wanted like a list of tight ends, so I'm just going through their like highest graded.
Deadpool's on my Coke can. Not sponsored.
You literally showed us that last week.
I keep forgetting he's on there.
No, they have Kyle Pitts rated as the 20th or the 19th tight end.
Well, it's because PFF.
I don't care what it's because of.
Okay, so are we going to start with wide receivers or tight
Let's
ends?
start with tight end. Oh, the thing I never got to, because we are
Oh yeah,
the most ADHD group of morons today. Justin Jefferson. I'm surprised the deal's already done, and not in the like. I'm surprised he wanted to sign. That was never a real concern.
yeah.
I love that everybody, including a couple of the teams that were rumored to have been trying to trade for him, have been like, "No, we called," and Kwesi said no, and then we hung up. Like, that's not real. Yeah, he was never getting traded. That was never real. People are dumb. And I don't even think Justin ever really wanted to leave. This isn't like with Randy Moss or Percy Harvin or Diggs, where there was like, you could tell he wanted out. He always said, I want to be in Minnesota, but it's up to them. Like, that's always been the like thing.
Right.
And I guess maybe the it's up to them is what people were up in arms about. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just surprised it's done, because this is one of the first extensions Minnesota's ever done before July 31st. It's always the beginning of training camp when Minnesota does extensions. So
Right.
that shows me how much the Wilfs wanted him around. Because, like, it was always the Wilfs. They're just like, we're not signing a check until after this day. So that just shows how much ownership wanted him around, which is all I really needed to know. But yeah, I just love everybody. Yeah, he was never leaving, and him being all excited. Now he's at minicamp. How many other star receivers are at minicamp right now?
Denniston Oliver Moore Jr. and Keenan Allen.
I said stars, so don't include Keenan.
What?
Bro is just, you got Adam Thielen from
Wide
last
receiver
year.
3 in the NFC North.
That's not saying much. Are you putting him over Amon-Ra?
Yes, comfortably.
Okay. I mean, I'm down for that. I think Amon-Ra's overrated, but I know the internet's going to be mad at you.
Don't care.
And they're going to be mad at me now that I said he's overrated, but
He is.
I don't understand why you hate me. I'm right.
It'll be fun when we do our top 10 receivers, and Amon-Ra does not
he
make
won't
the
be
list.
in there. No.
He will not crack the top
Neither
10.
will Keenan, though, but that's okay.
No, well, no, certainly not. I don't think Keenan's top 10, but I still
DJ
think he's
Moore,
a
we're gonna
star.
have to think about. I don't know where he fits in.
Think about if he's top 5, yeah.
Well, he's he's definitely not top 5.
I think there's an argument. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay, we gotta go tight ends, so we have to pick our number 10.
That's where it gets tough. Like, this is the hardest thing we could have started with.
So PFF has it being Tanner Hudson. Thoughts?
No, certainly not. We got to think. Okay, so
Okay,
I think
so
the best way to go specifically with tight ends, because there's so many guys that are going to comprise like 6 to 10.
Yeah.
We take out the guys that aren't going to be in that range.
Yeah, so we're removing Kittle, Kelsey, Andrews,
and
Hawkinson. What about
I think those 4 are pretty comfortably the top 4.
yes, I
After
very
that,
much agree.
conversations can be had.
So,
Personally, I would say the second tier would be like
Goddard, Pitts.
Goddard, Pitts, Komet.
Yeah, there you go. I
And that's
stopped
kinda it.
thinking of names.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
a guy like, I don't know. No, I don't think so. So
I could say, okay,
this area
think-
of the world. So we just listed like 7 guys. So
yeah,
we're including them somewhere in this list. So we need another 3.
yeah.
So out of those 3, we need to go between Trey McBride, Sam Laporta, Jake Ferguson, Evan Ingram, Dalton Schultz, Darren Waller, Hunter Henry,
He's a receiver now, and
David
also retired.
Njoku, and Pat Fryermuth.
Okay,
I'm kind of cool with leaving Fryermuth off, but
I
Steelers
am
fans
as well.
hate us, so
I would say out of that group, he's the first out.
so we're throwing out Waller. I would also throw out Hunter Henry. I
don't think he's up there
I
either.
would actually include Noah Fant before I included Hunter Henry, I think.
I don't hate that.
But I don't
but no.
think I'm including him either.
Personally, for these last 3 spots specifically, I think it's race. I think it's just Njoku, McBride, Ferguson, and Ingram and Pitts.
And Njoku. Did you already say Njoku?
Oh, I thought I said Njoku first.
Oh, you might have.
Yeah, and also we said Pitts with the last group. So
Njoku, did we?
McBride,
Did I zone out?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Njoku, Ingram, McBride, Ferguson is kind of like the four I'm considering here.
So we're leaving out Schultz.
I would say
sure.
so. I like Dalton Schultz for the role he plays, but he's just a body.
That's
like,
fair.
with all due respect, Dalton Schultz is what people thought Cole Kmet was, in the sense of just being a big body that's good on third down and isn't like spectacular in any one area, but is good enough all around to where you can think they're a starter, or you can be okay with them as a starter. And his production was a little bit inflated because he served as Stroud's safety blanket.
You know who we're leaving out?
Who?
Johnny Munt, best tight end 3 in the NFL.
We'll give him an honorable mention.
We're not going to give a shout out to the tight end 2 because he's realistically he is the definition
Here's
of just
an interesting
extra
question.
tackle. What's up?
Do we put Bowers in this conversation before he's played a snap?
No.
Okay, I'm glad we're in agreement on that, because I just think that's...
I also don't know. The reason I don't want to include Kincaid, I don't know if he's going to play tight end.
Right, sure.
Like, I don't care if he's listed
and
as
I agree
one.
with that. That's why I was leaving off Kincaid as well.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're in agreement there.
I also felt like Kincaid's name needed a shout just cause.
Yeah. So, McBride, Njoku, Ingram, and Ferguson. Are we cool with those four? Trying to
cut one.
whittle them down. That's what I'm saying. Whittling them down to 3 and then figuring out the order.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'd leave off Ingram.
See, and I'd leave Ferguson off.
I was really impressed with Ferguson.
So was I.
I think the big thing with Ferguson. So here's my thing. When I'm ranking tight ends, I'm also taking into account, can they block?
Sure.
Ingram does not. Ferguson is good enough. And I think as receivers, they're not far off. Like, Ferguson was a yak monster last year. Like, you hit him up the seam, that is money all day for him to be able to take a 10-yard pass for 20. And, with the way the Cowboys offense was structured, he became a lot more prevalent as time went on. And I was really, really impressed with what I saw out of him.
You know what? I think I'm down to leave off Ingram just because he wears 17, and that's gross.
I think the only guy I would entertain leading off in place of Ingram would be McBride, but that's only because he's just now coming on.
Right. And that was kind of my thing with Ingram, is like he's a well-established guy. Like,
sure.
Ferguson's a rookie, basically. Like, we don't know much from him.
Well, no, Ferguson had a good rookie year and then a really good sophomore year.
His rookie year, by good rookie year, that's good by tight end standards, which means he had, 12 catches? Because Dalton Schultz existed.
Hold on. His rookie year, he had 19 catches.
Yeah, he had a good rookie year. He had a total of 100 yards. Like...
Oh. He did enough as a tight end too. Yeah, no,
but it's like what I'm saying is like Ingram's like an established guy. We know what we're getting out of Evan Ingram outside of those like Daniel Jones years. But like, what are you getting out of anybody during the Daniel Jones years?
Sure.
So, and I could see that argument being made for McBride also, because like, while he did just come onto the scene, he wasn't Jake Ferguson yet even. So, like,
yeah,
maybe it's McBride that gets left off.
Well, I mean, if we want to get technical, McBride was more productive in both seasons.
That's fair. Was he more productive last year? No.
Yes. Then Ferguson, Ferguson had 700-some yards. McBride was over 820.
No. Oh. Why does PFF have a different number? Because they're not adding last year. Yeah, PFF says 81 receptions, 854 yards and 8 touchdowns for Ferguson.
Okay, Pro Football Reference has Ferguson with 102 targets, 71 receptions, 761 yards, 5 touchdowns.
What
That's
is
McBride
where
with
is
106 targets. I don't know.
Playoffs? Yeah, because he had a
Oh.
3 touchdown playoff game.
That's what it is.
Yep.
They're adding playoffs.
Got
So
it.
yeah, I think okay, so if we want to go off of being established, sure. I think we can put Ingram above these two, and these two kind of battle it out for 10.
Yeah.
I would argue, and maybe this is a bit of a cop out just because I want to go to bat for both of these guys.
Yeah,
We call it a tie at 10.
yeah. Okay.
And just have 11 tight ends. Because I think these two are so similar. I will
That's
say,
fair.
I think I'd probably favor Ferguson, but I do think they're close enough to be like, I don't want to leave one of them off in favor of the other.
Fair.
So
So
to me, I would.
it's Pride Month, so we give it to Trey McBride.
It took me a second. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
For anyone out there listening, Trey McBride is not a member of the LGBTQ plus community. His mothers are.
Right.
Just to clarify.
Fair. Also, unfortunately, I have to agree with the Theo Ash video. We
What did he
both
say?
retweeted it. You know, the whole Pride Month
Oh, yeah.
TikTok post. I have to agree with Theo Ash. He is right.
Unfortunately.
But it's unfortunate, but hey, at least he's a good person. He's just a football weirdo, which is okay. Because
True.
football is for everyone. And if you don't think so, go fuck yourself and stop watching this show.
Agreed,
Thank you.
100%. Yeah. No,
I'm
straight
cool
up,
with leaving it as a tie.
zero tolerance for anyone out there who thinks there's place for hate or bigotry within the football community, even if it is a little more widespread than it should be. There is no place for that, especially not here.
None here. Get the fuck out.
On God, go fuck yourself. Homophobes should die.
That's very aggressive, but I mean, I don't hate the argument. I just, man, we're trying to, that's how you get us banned from YouTube.
Sorry, they should commit not alive.
Okay.
But anyways, yes, tie at 10 with Ferguson and McBride.
Sure.
Then I think Engram goes at 9.
Yes.
Okay. And then
this is where the fun begins.
Yeah, I think 8 through 5, there are 4 guys all fighting.
Okay.
I think you've got Komet, you've got Njoku, you've got Pitts, and you've got Goddard. Personally, given what we have seen, I think Pitts is the worst of the 4.
I was going to give it to Goddard.
Really?
Yeah. And that's not like entirely Goddard hate. It's just he's been productive and he's an okay blocker, but like he's been for a long time he was compared to, the actual top guys at the position, and he was never
he
that.
did get a little bit overrated for a little while there.
Like
I think the other thing
still
too
have
with
people
Goddard,
trying to argue right now Hawkinson or Goddard. It's not close.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I think
so like
also now that I'm looking at it, something I didn't think about: availability with Goddard is an issue. He has not played a full season in his career.
So he technically did in 2018, but
yeah, but he only started 8 games as a rookie.
Yeah.
So
because of
14 games.
Ertz or Selleck, maybe both.
I think it was Ertz. I think 2018 was still Ertz.
I gotta go look. Well, Selleck was pre-Ertz, kind of, but I think there was. I don't know if there was overlap with all 3. Is my issue. I'm looking now. I'm intrigued. I'm just looking at their depth chart. Positionally, tight ends. No, it was just Ertz and Richard Rodgers.
What a name.
He didn't get any starts, but I remember the Rodgers to Rodgers Hail Mary. That's it.
So Counterpoint.
Yes.
Pitts at 8, Goddard at 7.
So here's my other thought.
Okay.
We know what Pitts is as a receiver. He's had a 1,000-yard year, the only time he had a real quarterback.
True.
Kind of real quarterback, I should add, but
better than Ritter.
Yes, and he's for the last 2 years been just a blocker and has been really good at it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
like he hasn't gotten to be, what Pitts or Kmet are because his coach was the dumbest motherfucker in the sport of football. That might be aggressive. We saw Urban Meyer and Nathaniel Hackett have jobs, so.
Jeff Saturday?
I don't think he was dumb. I just think that was a dumb hire.
Yes. No, Jeff Saturday's like
I think
a football
Saturday
genius.
did his. I think he did his job. It's just he didn't deserve to be in that spot.
Yeah, no. Realistically, Saturday's one of the smarter football minds out there.
Yeah,
he just was put in a bad spot.
Yeah, and his entire legacy as a head coach is ruined because of the Vikings game.
Yeah.
But hey, what can you do? Patrick Peterson said we only needed 5 touchdowns.
Right. So I think at least we're in agreement that Pitts and Goddard are in like a tier together here.
Yeah. See, I don't know.
Like,
I also don't know if I want either of them below Njoku, but I also don't know if I want Njoku this low. Njoku's such a weird cat.
Yeah, I would personally take Njoku over both of them right now.
I would still. There's not many.
I'll put it this way.
I think I'd only take the top 4 over Pitts, and that is entirely just an age thing. Bro's like 22.
Yeah. Okay. Pitts is weird because this comes down to how much are we projecting versus how much are we going off of what's established.
Well, what's established is he's an all-pro receiver who's an above-average blocker who actually stays on the field.
He's not an all-pro. You silly goober.
He's never... Just because he's never been voted to the team, we have seen he is that type of caliber player.
Mike Ditka better.
Okay.
Who has the record, buddy?
But we also have to remember, Njoku's only got one good season, really, and it was last year. Both availability and just being mid.
He was pretty damn good in 2022 as well.
2022 wasn't bad, but I'm just saying, like, he arrived last year.
Yeah, certainly last year was his big year. Okay, so I think I can get behind
Kyle Pitts. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay, I will get behind Goddard at 8. I think we can agree there.
Goddard at 8. And Njoku and Pitts, just I don't know.
Because,
but I'm down to give it. I'm down to give it to Njoku. I just know how poorly that's gonna age in 7 months.
Like, that's the thing. How much do we want to project here?
See, oh God, that's even tough then though, because it's like Njoku, how much is gonna happen? Because Watson's ass. And
right.
If Kirk is who Kirk is, Kyle Pitts is gonna go for 1,000 yards and 10 tuds. That's just gonna happen. Because he's gonna get used like T.J. Hawkinson did.
I think I'm willing to. Okay, I was trying to talk myself out of wanting to put Pitts high just so I didn't get lumped in with like the fuck stats don't matter, but like it's my nature.
No, but even if you look at the stats still kind of say.
Yeah, because like Pitts quietly had 600 yards last year.
Yeah.
Like that's, given the circumstances, 600 yards is nothing to scoff at.
Right. Yeah,
I'm willing to go Pitts over Njoku.
Okay, so we'll go Njoku 7, Pitts at 6, and that puts Cole Kmet in the top 5. How do you feel?
Rah! Let's go.
Now let's see how. This is where I have to argue for my boy at some point. Maybe. Who we putting it for?
Do you?
I don't know.
I mean, I think I think Mandrew's
Okay.
pretty
Okay.
comfortably at 4.
I'm gonna
'Cause, again-
argue just for fun now, but I'm more okay. But no, I think Mark Andrews at 4 makes a lot of sense. Mark Andrews is great, but
Yeah.
again, the availability thing is kind of a key.
Yes.
Because, like, yes, Hawk did get hurt last year in
Freak
week
accident.
16. Like,
And also a freak accident.
Yeah.
It's not like he's getting banged up left and right. It was somebody took out his fucking
no,
knee.
he kind of did get banged up left and right. I remember he was on the injury report all year, but he doesn't miss games.
But yeah, that's kind of more what I meant. Like banged up left and right, didn't miss
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Like,
It's like-
if you're in the game, who cares?
Right? It's like, yeah, he's coming into the game with, a bone bruise, a brain bleed, and a fucking broken hand, but he's going to play. It's like,
Also-
should he?
Real quick before we get into the top 3, I do want to mention being able to say that Cole Kmet is arguably a top 5 tight end is the biggest win in the world for me.
Yeah.
I'm so happy by that. Like,
See,
and the thing is, I
and
don't
if it
even
was
think it's
just going off projection, I'd put Kyle Pitts higher.
which is fair, and
But-
I don't disagree with
yeah.
that. But still, there would be an argument to be made for Cole.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's incredible. Because I'm still Pepperidge Farms over here remembers when Cole Kmet wasn't top 15. It was going to get replaced by Brock Bowers.
Luckily,
wasn't
I was
any
never
good.
that guy.
Right. But no, there were so many people out there that really didn't think Kmet was any good. And then you get 3 straight years with bad quarterback play where he is consistently not only one of the most productive tight ends in the sport, but constantly improving on the field, which is the big thing for me. Because Kmet, going into this year, I will absolutely what's the word I'm looking for here? Like secede that he was not the greatest separator in the world. He wasn't the greatest route runner in the world. Cole was just big. Big man make big play. That's what it was for 2 years. This year he came out, he was way better at creating separation. He's a much better route runner. Found himself in way more advantageous situations. He was somebody that Getsy was willing to scheme around offensively, which is a big deal when you have DJ fucking Moore on the team and the team is designing plays and drives around you and you in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And he was still able to be super productive, one of the most productive tight ends in the league, week in and week out. Again, with bad quarterback play, not just talking about Fields, but also with fucking UDFA Tyson Bagent. Like, I love Kyle Pitts. I'll give him the bad quarterback excuse every day of the week.
I think his
Cole's
was
situation-
more weird play calling.
Sure, but
yeah.
even the year before, I'll give him that excuse, absolutely. Cole's was arguably just as bad,
Yeah.
and he was still really fucking productive.
I don't know.
He
I
was
think
still a
Fields
standout
is
player.
very much better than Ritter and Mariota.
Fields
I
and
think
Bagent
that's-
versus Ritter and Mariota, I think is pretty close.
I don't.
Either way, the point is,
yeah,
it's
that's
still
not
not good
important.
quarterback play.
No.
Bad quarterback play is bad quarterback play.
Yeah, we're arguing quarterback 45 and 40 here. Like, I don't.
Right. But yeah,
Um,
I'm just give him his flowers and not be like a biased little bitch.
For sure. So, speaking of being biased little bitches, we didn't bring
you
up
about-
Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I think, me personally,
This Father's Day, save big
what
on the world's best
fuck?
pretzels
Why
for
are
the
you
world.
randomly making ads make noise? Pro Football Reference might be the worst website. Why are your ads like auto playing with noise? Sorry about that, podcast. Sam Laporta, I think, is what a lot of people thought Cole Kmet was.
I think to a certain degree, yes, but I also think I wouldn't hate having him top 10.
I do. Because I still don't understand. But this is also a thing. I don't understand how he was an all-pro last year.
Numbers.
His numbers weren't that good.
Were they not?
Like, okay, they were, but they weren't better than a lot of people. Also,
Well,
wait.
perhaps importance in big offense.
Because, like, his numbers were...
889 yards and 10 TDs is pretty...
Right, but his numbers were worse than Hawk's. Hawk didn't make an all-pro list. Hawkinson
Yeah.
has still never been an all-pro.
That's crazy.
Bro had 960 yards last year.
It's utterly mad.
But yeah, like Hawk, that's the thing, is I think Laporta benefits from being the only other guy in his offense who can catch a fucking football.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him good. I don't think he's overly good as a route runner. I don't think he's not overly skilled after the catch. He's just
not a
big
good
man.
blocker.
Right. Like, I don't think you can make the argument for him to be top 10 other than just by saying number big. And I think that's bad argument.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if he was a good blocker, but he's like doing the Kyle Pitts thing where it's like, oh, he's only a receiver. It's like, Laporta is more in the Kincaid, Dawson Knox category than he is in a real top 10 tight end category.
I think he's comfortably top 15.
I think Kincaid and Knox are pretty close to that too. Knox a little less so now, but that's just
I was going to say Kincaid,
fair.
I would say top 15. Knox probably top 20.
But like Knox 2 years ago was top 15.
Sure,
like he was
absolutely.
Kincaid, but then they replaced him with Kincaid.
Yeah.
But don't worry, this year they're both going to go for 1,000 yards because there's not a receiver in Buffalo, not one. A rookie. I'm not giving rookies their flowers like that yet.
Khalil Shakir?
Really?
Damn good slot?
I don't know if bringing up a guy who wouldn't start at receiver on either of our teams is really helping here.
You don't think he'd be wide receiver 3 in Minnesota?
Minnesota doesn't start their games with 3 wide receivers. A wide receiver 3 is not considered a starter.
Okay, fair. If we're going by
also,
that, sure.
I don't know. I think Brandon Powell and him would be pretty close.
I would comfortably take Shakir.
How many game-winning
really like
catches did Shakir have last year?
Probably at least one.
Probably not.
He made the big play against the Steelers.
I don't remember. Maybe.
Where he ducked under 3 people and scored a touchdown.
But, yeah, I don't know. Buffalo's not a real football team. Can we just agree there?
I mean, I don't know. I think if we were projecting, I'll put it this way, if Laporta has another year like he just had, then sure. Top 10.
For sure.
I just think it's too, because I'm very firmly in the belief system that I don't like to rank rookies super high after 1 year.
Right. Unless they do something nuts. Like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson after their rookie year, you had to give them their flowers.
I'll put it this way. I wouldn't put CJ or Puka in the top 10 for their position.
I don't know. You got to consider Puka. Because you have to look at it as, this isn't just Laporta had a good rookie year.
Yeah.
Puka had a historic rookie year.
Saying,
like, that's what I'm saying. I think there's levels to that. I think being
absolutely.
good as a rookie, you don't want to overrate that. Being all time as a rookie, yeah, you gotta look into that a little.
I think you can make, I would say Puka's top 15, but like with how unreal the wide receiver position is in the league right now, it's just hard for me to put a guy after his rookie year in there. And Stroud, same thing. There's just a lot of really good quarterbacks right now.
Stroud is also an easy guy to kind of make an argument, though, because, like, you can look at, especially if you just do don't know what Rodgers and Cousins are, so they're out. Like, boom, that frees up some spots.
Sure.
And then it's, you're going to have the psychos who think Kyler's bad. You're going to have the psychos who think Jalen Hurts is bad.
Right.
But
my big thing, it's not even
be wild.
Yeah. But I just want to throw out there, like, I'm not anti-Laporta, I'm not anti-Stroud, I'm not anti-Puka. I'm a big fan of Stroud and Puka, and I reluctantly enjoy Sam Laporta when he's making big plays. But for me, I don't like putting rookies in top 10 position unless they are, like, the second coming. Like, Sauce, after his rookie year, I would have said absolutely top 10 corner. But the top end corner talent wasn't nearly as good as like the top end receiver talent is right now. Or like Brian Branch, I think you can make an argument as a top 10 nickel, but the nickel talent top end isn't as high as the top end receiver talent or the tight end talent. So like you give me another year of Laporta where he looks like this, absolutely probably top 5 tight end. But for now, considering it's a year, and this isn't like a buildup. Like I know we talked about guys like Njoku or Ferguson or McBride who have had like a big breakout year. There was also a buildup to that. Like we've seen the linear growth to where, yeah, they're either going to plateau at being really fucking good, or they are going to continue to grow and be even better.
Right.
Whereas Laporta, he can hit that sophomore slump, and it's like, what do you do now? Or he could go even higher, be 1,000-yard receiver next year.
Or what I still think is more likely to happen is Goff goes back to being Jared Goff.
Yeah.
We just saw 2018 Goff. Now we get 2019 Goff again. There's a reason he got traded last time. Goff has done this multiple times where he's mediocre, then has a big year, and then he's awful. And then it's back to mediocre. That's Jared Goff. Yeah. Like, that's why I keep getting so offended at this. Goff's in the same tier as Cousins and all those guys. No, he's not. Because Goff has consistently just been mid. And has just as many bad seasons, like awful seasons, as he has good seasons.
Yeah.
Now, can you win with Goff? I'm actually firmly in the no camp now. We've seen it twice.
Wholeheartedly.
We've seen it twice. And though I guess you can start to, I don't know, Purdy's only got one more failure before Purdy makes that camp. But like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of talent, I think like me and you have argued that Baker is better than, not than Purdy. Right now, Purdy is still in the camp of you can win with him until you lose with him with that much talent again. Like I don't care that it's Mahomes. If you can win with a quarterback, they should win with that team. That's it.
Yeah.
Unless the other team is, insane. That's just levels. But like we've argued Baker over Goff. Baker has never had a team like any of Goff's big teams. Not once.
Right.
So big differences there. I don't know why we're on quarterbacks. So tight end 3, I know should be TJ.
I think it's Hawk.
I want to argue that it's Kelsey.
No.
Because of the step back, and Kelsey can't block.
Yeah, but dude, he might be the best tight end of all time, and he still had a really fucking good year.
He did have a really good year. He did.
And then he had a really fucking good year, and then in the playoffs, he returned to form.
Yeah, but we aren't including playoffs for other people, so we're not including it for Kelsey. He doesn't get that. We're looking at the regular season of Travis Kelsey, which was
Were we not including playoffs?
We hadn't. That's why we let Ferguson down, is because he's the exact same as this guy, unless
we were looking at numbers with that though. I mean, like pure like talent. Like Ferguson had a big playoff game, but he didn't return to being the greatest tight end of all time in the playoffs. Like one big playoff game versus, this guy had a down year, and then he's himself again suddenly when it matters most. Again, there's levels to it. I think there's a difference there.
I don't know. All I'm saying is in the same amount of time, him and that's insane. Their numbers are eerily similar in the same 15-game span. Hawk went 95, 960, and 5. Kelsey went 93, 984, and 5. They were the same dude in the regular season, except one can block at an all-pro level.
Yeah.
Like, so, and this isn't a slight at Travis Kelsey. I am agreeing. He is one of, if not the best, one of the, 3 best tight ends to ever live?
I would say it's 2.
Tony G needs his flowers here.
I put Tony G over Gronk.
Oh, I thought it was a Gronk thing here.
I think it's Kelsey and Tony G by themselves as the top 2 all time.
Okay, interesting.
Just because Gronk, the durability is a big thing.
That's fair.
Tony G didn't miss a game for a decade, and Kelsey's been pretty good health wise. Yeah. Other than this year coming in with an injury, but like
even this year he missed 2 games. Like I don't count missing 2 games like against
Gronk's
people.
He would explode every other week.
That's
like
fair.
Sure, when he'd play, he might be he's like Shaq. He might be the most dominant player ever when he was on the field.
Right.
But when your knee explodes 10 minutes into that dominant stretch, it's like Sure, you're top 3 all time, but I can't say top 2. I think personally, I would say it's Tony G, then Kelsey, then
I'm still
Gronk.
I'm just going to say at minimum, he's a top 3 tight end all time. I'm not trying to diminish that at all.
No, I'm not either.
I am just arguing right now for my guy because I can, and it's a kind of a justifiable argument. I'm down to leave him at 3. I just feel like
unfortunately, I must go Kelsey.
You got to use your bias. You know what? We're putting Kyle Pitts at 5. Komet's moving down to 6.
No.
Then Hawks at 2.
This is not how this works.
Yes, it is. I can keep us here forever.
Arguing consistently productive tight end that has grown exponentially every season versus Kyle Pitts, who has dropped off in production significantly.
I thought you were trying to say Kelsey and Hawk. I was like, Hawk obviously doesn't have the 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons, but Hawk's also never been by far the best receiver.
Well, no, I was
on his
saying
team.
the Komet versus Pitts argument is very much different than Hawk versus Kelsey.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're like neck and neck, but I would take Kelsey over Hawk. Just because I think if I want a tight end to take over a game and win me the game on his shoulders by only throwing to him, I trust Kelsey more.
Now
and that's not to say I don't think...
I just want to know Hawkinson's best game ever.
I wouldn't know off.
I just want to know.
But I'm not saying that Hawkinson's incapable of that. I just think Kelsey is much more reliable.
So it was actually in Detroit in 2022 against Seattle. He had 8 catches for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. Number 2 would be last year against New Orleans, interestingly enough.
Komet's best play last year came against New Orleans.
Josh Dobbs has Hawkinson's second greatest game all time. I got to start some filthy narratives. All right.
But yeah, I would say Hawkinson at 3 and then Kelsey at 2 personally. I do.
Okay, so now we actually do have to have another conversation though, because I do think this top 3 is like really close.
Sure.
But we've argued the durability point. Out of all of them, the guy who's missed the most games is Kittle.
Yes.
Except for last year.
Yes. But I do think where Kittle lacks in durability, he makes up for an all-around play because he is a better blocker than the other 2. I would say a decently wide margin.
I think him and Hawk as a blocker is closer than you'd. I think Hawk is closer to Kittle as a blocker than Kelsey is to Hawk.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, because Kelsey isn't a blocker.
That's fair.
But when it comes to Kittle, Kittle's versatility as a blocker is unmatched by any other tight end in the league.
Yeah.
Because Kittle can line up in so many different situations, block from so many different perspectives, so many different angles. His awareness as a blocker, his field vision, his spatial awareness, his ability to just locate bodies and hit them.
Sure.
Like the work him and Kyle Juszczyk do together as blockers, I had to bring him up because it's relevant. Well, the work they do together as move blockers for the 49ers, there's no player at their position, regardless of talent-wise or talent otherwise, that is doing exactly what they do. Well, and no other player at their position is capable of that.
With Hawk, I think he used to do more moving around and being just a blocker in general, but now he doesn't. He's no longer asked to. Right. You bring in Oliver, and then you have C.J. Ham.
Right.
Which is why why Kittle's blocking is a little different now, because with Juszczyk, you don't have to do as many wild things with Kittle.
But you still do is the thing.
You don't have to. You're just choosing to.
Because it's Shanahan.
Right.
The more complex you make your blocking, the better it is for Shanahan. That's the whole point.
Right, which doesn't work always.
Yes, it does. It
just
works
because you make it more complex doesn't mean it's any better. It really doesn't. Mean,
if it ain't broke. You can say a lot of things about Kyle Shanahan. You cannot say his blocking schemes are broke.
No, I just wanted to be douchey and be like, yeah, how many Super Bowls has it won him? Because I can count, at least 4 that it's lost.
Okay. His blocking schemes didn't lose him those Super Bowls. His play calling and situational awareness did. Totally removed. Totally different thing.
Totally different. But
if there's a lot of things you can say about that man. You could not take away the art that is his blocking schemes and the way he makes men move in space. He got Trent Williams out there running around like a fucking fullback.
Yeah, because he only has 3 people on his team who can block.
And they're all basically fullbacks. See, what if that's the grand Shanahan plan? We've seen them not address the offensive line very often. What if he just wants like 6 use checks?
That's unfortunate because there are only maybe 2 fullbacks in the league athletic enough to join in on the use check train.
Do you mean 2 outside of use check?
Yes.
I would say 3.
3. You're right. I forgot Alec Ingold.
Ingold, Curry, and Ham would be the 3.
I was adding Lipke.
Okay, then I skipped out on
4.
Lipke. Yeah, so
Okay.
4. That's an offensive line, brother. There's 4 plus juice. There's 4 plus juice. That's an offensive line.
Dude, I think that's a wonderful idea until they play Philly in the playoffs and Jordan Davis commits murder.
You mean when Alec Ingold pulls and pins him?
Okay.
If Alec Ingold can put Christian Barmore on his ass, I think he can handle Jordan Davis.
Christian Barmore weighs 100 pounds less than Jordan Davis.
That's not true. That's definitely not true. Barmore's 300 plus.
Christian Barmore weighed in. No way. That is the smallest 300-pound man I've ever seen.
I was gonna say it's muscle, it's not weight.
That is not Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis is 335. What was Barmore?
315, which
if he can,
that's a number I don't know if I buy.
If he can put Barmore on his ass, I think he can block Davis. But I also don't
think that's the same thing at all.
Yeah, whatever. Correlation, causation, semantics, blah blah blah. Ingold better. Anyways, George Kittle, best tight end in football.
I mean, I don't disagree, but also, I just am going to keep saying I think the top 3 is very close.
Certainly, and I don't disagree with that.
I think
think Kittle's the best.
I think if we just went by Shanahan's brain, we know who would go in 3rd. And that's Travis Kelce, because he couldn't use him as a fucking blocker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if we were using Shanahan's brain, Kelsey's moving down. Yeah,
he'd bench Kelce. He put Ayuk in the doghouse his rookie year because he wouldn't block. He'd fucking bench Kelce.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't care that you're married to Taylor Swift, boy. You're gonna get out there and fucking lay somebody out.
When did they get married? What did I miss?
Not married. Sorry, this is 3 years in the future when Kelsey's kind of washed and moves to the Niners.
When Kelsey's bouncing around, he
ends up on the Niners for shit and giggles.
I think Kelsey's gonna retire.
It happens in my head canon.
Okay, nice.
It's like across the Spider-Verse. It's like an alternate dimension.
So now we've got to move to receivers.
Well, hold on, tight end. Just to run through it real quick, we have George Kittle at number 1, Travis Kelce at number 2, T.J. Hawkinson at number 3. Mark Andrews at number 4, Cole Kmet at number 5, Kyle Pitts at number 6, David Njoku at number 7, Dallas Goedert at number 8, Evan Ingram at number 9, and then at 10 we have a tie between Jake Ferguson and Trey McBride.
Yeah.
I would say the only notable player we left off is Sam Laporta, and we had that discussion.
Yes.
Therefore, mic drop.
Yes. I hope the comments get very angry with us.
There will be like one person.
So, wide receivers is going to be tough.
Joinkies.
Joinkies?
It's like Jinkies, but different. Because
PFF's given me their top 32. Wonderful.
Right.
Wow. PFF already thinks Rome Odunze is number 29. Malik Neighbors is number 25.
I thought Odunze was better. Marv's probably like 12.
21. just ahead of Keenan Allen, just behind Mike Evans and Amari Cooper. According to this list. Okay, so we got to start. I
At
think
10, right?
so. I think we're gonna just real quick do the thing from last time. I think there's 6 guys who we just kind of leave out at this start.
Leave out, is it like they'll be put in later?
Yeah, and
Or,
that's
okay.
yeah, Jefferson, Tyreek,
Yes.
Jamar, CD, AJ Brown, Devontae.
Okay, so we said Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Tay Adams.
Jamar and CD.
Yeah,
I think those guys are locks. There's no questions.
yes, they're definitely top 6.
This is the fun part because there's now 12 guys who could go in this final 4 spots.
All right.
I think.
I know the 2 guys that I'm going to go to bat for
Who
here
are you going
pretty
to bat
aggressively. At least 3. My 3 are DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, and Mike Evans.
Okay, so that means we can. Okay, so I have to bring them up. We already talked about Amon-Ra. He's not here.
Yes.
No. So Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs. Got to bring up Puka. Just got to throw his name out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like
I would put
Laporta,
him, but
we're probably not going to put him, but
out
we
of
got to
the
throw.
4 you've named, I would rate Puka the highest.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I would.
Then you got Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin. Technically, I think you still got to say his name in this scenario, D-Hop.
Okay.
Bro produced with Will Levis and Ryan Tannehill.
I think, did you say DK Metcalf? Because I feel
No,
as if
I
his
don't
name should
think
also be brought up.
I don't think it should be.
I would take
I
DK over
still
a
am
couple
not
of the guys
sure
you
he's-
just named.
I'm still not sure he's the best receiver in Seattle.
I'm pretty
Just being an
comfortably
athletic
convinced
freak
he
does
is.
not give me that much. I don't know, man. DK is such a weird dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I think he's top 10. I just think for this conversation, he's worth bringing up. I mean, if we're bringing up Cooper Kupp in the year of our Lord 2024,
What do you?
same
Okay,
thing with Stephon Diggs.
okay. Diggs and Kupp still performed, even though they only Kupp only played in
Last
12
year,
games.
the back half of the year, Stephon Diggs was relegated to a slot receiver. It was not particularly fantastic.
Okay, we're really gonna pretend that that's Diggs' fault when, I'm sorry, his offensive coordinator was Joe Brady. You know, the guy who got fired in Carolina.
Still wasn't performing. And he has Josh Allen at quarterback. If you are a number 1 receiver, I don't care where you're lining up or who your offensive coordinator is. If you have a top 5 quarterback throwing you the football, you should be able to be productive. Look at Keenan Allen last year. He was still a 1,000-yard receiver, very productive.
Diggs went
open all the time.
107 catches, 1,200 yards, and 8 TDs. If you tell me he's not productive again, I'm kicking you in the dick.
Okay.
You ginormous goober.
First of all, not as productive as he has been. Second of all, the devil is in the details with Diggs. Like I said, back half of the year was not Diggs anymore. He wasn't
Again,
playing like Diggs.
When the offense moved entirely to, we're going to run the ball first, and then we're not going to do what our offense does.
Okay,
we used to just take deep shots. They attempted 4 in the last 12 games. That might not be entirely true. And you don't just get to look up long passes because the NFL's stupid and thinks that if I catch it behind the line of scrimmage and run it 90 yards, it's a big play.
That's not what I was doing.
I don't know what you're looking up. I'm just throwing out words.
That being said,
I understand Diggs had kind of a fall off at the end of the year, you know, when the entire passing game of the Bills did. That's
the argument I'm trying to make here is that when the receiver world, however you want to put it, when the receiver talent in the league is this high, if you have a misstep, you're going to get left behind a little bit. I still think Diggs is easily like a top 15 receiver. I'm just not putting him in my top 10. Maybe saying I'd take DK Metcalf over him is a little much.
Very much. Has
But,
DK ever had 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and 8 TDs? Not trying to be rude. I just mean.
No, that's a good question.
Diggs' worst year. Has DK ever even come close? His second year. Yep.
1,300
but
yards.
only 83 catches. So he still was like, I still think catches matter to a degree.
If you're getting 1,000 yards, you're getting 1,000 yards.
Oh, no, I know. But I think, and I don't think it's like just purely the number. I just think like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. How many targets did Diggs have last year?
100, or no, I'm sorry. He had 160.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm not trying to say Diggs is like the best, but like he went from being in top 5 conversations to we're saying he's out of it.
Again,
because he had a misstep, while his numbers are still better than most of the guys we talked about.
Diggs was 13th in the league in receiving yards.
Yeah, and where was Jalen Waddle?
Waddle? He was 27th, but he's also a 2. I'm not saying I'd take Waddle over Diggs.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I get that there was a bit of a fall off, and I'm just trying to, like...
The crux of my point here, Diggs not top 10. That's all I'm trying to say. I think he's just outside of it right now.
But
just because of how close everything is.
I think it's just the DK Metcalf thing that has me so mad.
Yeah, and that was DK I jumped the gun a little bit. I will admit defeat there. I jumped the gun a little bit. I got a little too overzealous because people do underrate DK Metcalf, but perhaps not that much.
There's a lot of wide receiver talent, and I think if you just looked at pure talent, yeah, DK is probably higher. But outside of one season, he's never been what his talent says he should be.
Right. So, the way I look at it, Diggs is like 12th. If I had to like just pull a number out of my ass, he'd be like 12th for me.
So who are your two you're arguing for? You're arguing for Ayuk, DJ.
Ayuk, Moore, and Evans are my big 3.
Evans is weird.
Dude, he's been one of the most consistent receivers in the league for a decade.
Yeah, but he also is the weirdest I've never seen a receiver who catches so many passes with such bricks for hands.
Well, I mean, he had what? 79 receptions on 136 targets last year. Not ideal, but he walked away with 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns.
Right. No, it's just one of those things. It's like he's the weirdest guy of like, he will make the insanely acrobatic catch, and then you hit him right here, and he can't fucking bring it in, and it annoys me.
I'm just saying, I think he's pretty. And again, I'm not just going off the numbers, but I mean, when you have that many straight 1,000-yard seasons, clearly that doesn't happen by accident. That doesn't happen because you're some sort of target merchant. You're pretty fucking good at the whole football thing.
Target merchant. That's
when he split with Chris Godwin, who was a top 20 receiver for a little while there.
For those 2 years when Brady existed, right? I wonder what the correlation is there.
Correlation does not equal causation. Godwin was just better those 2 years.
Okay, buddy.
But no, I'm just saying, like, I think Evans is. I'm not saying Evans is 7, but he's top 10 in my eyes.
But then I gotta bring up D-Hop again.
I'm not.
Like, okay.
I'm not entertaining D-Hop in this conversation personally.
Why?
With the 3 that I mentioned, I don't think he's better than any of them.
I think the argument with him and Mike Evans is interesting.
I disagree. I don't think, at this point in his career, I don't think he's as good as Mike Evans. I think D-Hop's starting to slow down in terms of like his actual like long speed, which I know doesn't kill his ability, but it hinders him.
D-Hop has never been a win by speed guy. That's never mattered.
I'm not saying he's a burner. I'm just saying when you start to slow down, it makes your route slower. It means you get to your spot slower, and that can become an issue.
Sure. Counterpoint. uber productive with Will Levis.
Uber productive?
I mean, 1,000 yards and 7 tuds.
I wouldn't call that uber productive.
With Will fucking Levis? And Ryan Tannehill?
Again, I wouldn't call that uber productive.
Semantics.
Right. Yes.
But
I don't know, because like I'll put it this way: out of this group, these are the guys I'm vying for right now. And the three I've already mentioned: DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Evans, and then Garrett Wilson and Nico Collins would probably be my next two up.
See, and I think the real argument, I like those two. I think the two I'd have to push for just because Devonta Smith and Terry McLaurin.
And I don't disagree
and I
with
think
that.
I think my bigger push would be for Scary Terry.
And
Because he gets
I can get
all of the
that.
excuses I like to give everybody else while being
Right.
Terry goddamn McLaurin. We've never seen Terry get a real quarterback, not one time. So like I can push for him a little harder because like I think he did. I mean, he's working on his own little Mike Evans streak of his own.
Sure.
He's got 4 years of 1,000 yards in a row.
I would say Terry is top 15, not top 10, personally.
It's tough. I don't know. I view Terry as kind of similar to Mike Evans in like what they do to a degree. Mike Evans is weird, but like Mike Evans has always just been a big body contested catch guy. I know we get the one highlight a year where he just burns somebody, but that's normally just because the Panthers are not a real organization because it's always the Panthers. But like,
I'd also like,
but like Terry does the same thing. And so I'm not saying like, he's,
Jesus, Terry's already 28.
Yeah, I think he came in a little old. He had to have.
He must have, because holy shit.
Because he's going to be 29 this year.
That's crazy.
Oh no. He's. Question.
Huh?
D-Hop's age is listed at 31 years old, 31 and 365 days old. Somebody explain how that's not 32.
Leap year?
I guess his birthday's June 6th, so I guess tomorrow.
Not leap year.
He turns 32 tomorrow. Happy birthday, D-Hop.
I would also like to point out, just because that reminded me of receivers who are a tick older, we did not mention Amari Cooper.
Because
I'm just throwing the name out there. I'm not saying I necessarily think he's top 10.
I would argue out of everybody we've brought up, he would be the last one.
I think the last one would be D-Hop, personally.
I really don't.
Prove me wrong.
Okay,
prove me wrong.
Amari Cooper's
not you. No. I don't mean you. I mean D-Hop. Prove me wrong next year is what I'm saying. Like, give me a reason to believe again. But
I don't know. See, I don't know what more he's gonna have to do. Is the only way to believe in D-Hop for 1,500 yards and 10 tuds? Like,
yeah, sadly, he has to be perfect just because fuck you.
That's what it sounds like. But like, you want me to prove it? Okay. In his career, Amari Cooper's had one full season ever. That's all I need to say D-Hop.
That's fair.
D-Hop played a full season last year.
Well,
best ability is availability, and D-Hop is, outside of the suspension years, always available.
Sorry, he's a rule breaker. Have to tax him.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. Brady is no longer the greatest rule breaker.
He didn't break rules. He was framed by the ball boys. But no, I mean, I think Cooper and Hopkins would be the bottom two for me. Again, I just wanted to bring up Amari Cooper because he was the only player in the top 10 of receiving yards that we didn't mention yet. So 1,250 yards with 5 touchdowns. And he had that one game where he was God.
Well, if we're talking about the one game where he was God, Will Levis's debut with D-Hop, where literally every pass was just a touchdown to D-Hop.
Right, yeah.
That was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Dude, D-Hop in... You know what it was? It was the Oiler uniform. He thought he was in Houston again. He woke up.
Yeah. But yeah,
I miss Houston, D-Hop.
I don't, because he played with a creep.
Matt Schaub?
Yes. Matt Schaub looked at me wrong. But seriously, so if we had to nail down these 4, because we have our top 6 in agreement, who are your 4?
Okay. So I'm definitely cool with Ayuk. DJ Moore, probably. I think we're going to end up agreeing. Maybe? I don't remember who your other guy was.
One of Garrett Wilson or Nico Collins. I think I would lean Garrett Wilson.
I thought you had named 3. Ayuk, Moore.
Ayuk, Moore, and Evans were my 3.
Because I'm going to go Ayuk, Moore, Wilson, Collins. I don't know what order, but that's who I would say, and I'd put Evans at 11-ish.
Okay, I can stomach that.
We can also argue it because Nico has that argument that we fought with for guys last time, where he did it once.
Yeah, so I would put Evans over Collins personally.
I think I'm okay with that.
Like, I would say Nico's pretty comfortably 11, and then we can say like Stephon Diggs 12, if that tickles your fancy.
No, I genuinely was mostly just mad about the TK thing.
Like I said, that was brother. It is 3:29 in the morning. Okay,
that's normal gamer hours, brother.
Gamer hours where we just spew nonsense, not podcast hours where what we say gets published online.
For me, it's kind of the same thing because if I'm gaming, I'm probably live streaming,
Different
so everything's
for me.
online. Yeah, my dumbassery's always online.
So more Ayuk, Evans, Wilson. That's our 4.
So we're going Evans at 10.
Yes.
Ooh. So you're going to be
Wilson
happy.
at
I'm
9.
not thinking more. I'm thinking between Ayuk and Wilson.
I think
I want to just look at numbers because it does help. We both know what they are as a receiver. Like,
yeah, I'm leaning Ayuk just because of his route running. Like that's the big thing for me here is I think Ayuk might be. I'm not going to say the best route runner in football because obviously that's not quite true, but he's the best route runner of the second best route runner of these 4.
See, Garrett Wilson's a good route runner.
I'm not saying he's bad. He also
gets the bad QB argument, but I mean, the last 2 years, which is what really matters in general, because that's all we got for Wilson. And before that, Ayuk was hated by his coach because he didn't care about football.
And then he learned to love football, and look what happened.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. Does he love football?
Of course. That's why he wanted money to play it.
Bro needs money. Like, I don't know. I think this is very close, but I'm kind of cool with whatever here.
I mean, I think it's close too, but I would go Ayuk over Wilson.
See, but does Ayuk have a Rookie of the Year award? No, but he does have an All-Pro.
Yes. Me would think more valuable.
Rookie of the Year for sure. Name me one bad Rookie of the Year. Can't name me a...
McCorkle?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, I thought he won it in 2021.
No. No.
Oh, it was Jamar. That's right. Okay, I remember the
Justin
insufferable.
Jefferson was the one that got
He
fucked
was
over.
the one that robbed.
So
Okay.
I was the one that always made the joke that it should be Mac, because if you're gonna give it to whatever quarterback plays
Okay,
just
I
fine
couldn't-
enough.
I couldn't remember which LSU receiver got robbed for a moment
And I
there.
know Justin Herbert had a good year, but Justin Jefferson had the greatest rookie year of any receiver ever to that point.
Yeah.
And Herbert, I don't think he broke a rookie record.
Anyways,
all.
bad offensive rookie of the years. Eddie Lacy, Sam Bradford.
Hey, Bradford was great when he was on the field. And Eddie Lacy
Which
was really
is-
good until he discovered McDonald's.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Um,
did you forget about that man that was Eddie Lacy? He terrorized both of our teams.
I'm actively choosing to get rid of that part of my memory.
Eddie Lacy was killing him for 2
Also,
years.
like this
and then
Vince
McDonald's.
Young dude, one offensive rookie year.
Did
Don't know who
he
the fuck that is.
actually?
06, yeah.
That's insane.
This fucking girly guy, he's not in the league anymore. He can't
Okay.
be any good.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, and then this Odell Beckham.
Oh my God.
They're just auto-generating names at this point. Real rookie of the year, 2001, Anthony Thomas. That's a
Who?
ball player. That's a ball player, Anthony Thomas. What do you know about Anthony Thomas?
The worst player. Okay, new counterpoint though for Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk
Okay.
doesn't have a nickname. Garrett Wilson's nickname is Gumby.
Who calls him
I
Gumby?
don't know, but it's listed on Pro Football Reference. Bro's
Hold on.
nickname is Gumby.
Certainly. This isn't the same guy. It is. It is. Brandon Ayuk wins. His nickname's the Funk Master.
From where? Who?
His website. His website has him listed as the Funk Master.
When you got to give yourself a nickname,
No,
you don't have a
he
nickname.
didn't get it. Nope. He got it from he did wrestling in high school. He got it from his high school wrestling coach because his unorthodox wrestling style.
It's only listed on Brandon Ayuk's website, but we're
Yeah,
gonna...
Pro Football Reference just isn't updated yet.
From when Ayuk was in high school.
Yep.
That's really where you're gonna die. That's the hill you're gonna pick.
Ayuk is awesome. Ayukin.
Yet nobody has ever. Okay, that's like saying my nicknames are every dumb name Steven has ever said when he hops in my Discord. That's not how nicknames work.
Okay, in college he was actually called the Yak. The yards after king.
His nickname was just a hairy cow. Wonderful.
Whatever.
Ain't none of that as cool
All
as
right,
Gumby.
all right. If we're just going off nicknames, then fucking fuck both these guys. Juwan Jennings,
What is his nickname?
Third and Juwan. This guy, he doesn't know the lore.
I know the lore.
That's a pretty badass nickname.
Literally the nickname every team gives to whoever gets all the third down targets. That's just...
Yeah, but Third and Juwan works better than like Third and Komet, Third and Hawk.
I mean, Third and Hog.
Third and Kelsey.
Yeah, well, it's Kels. Thank you.
Yeah, whatever.
That's
also,
what Trav says.
Also at
Yeah, I don't care. We can
Arizona
go.
State, Brandon Ayuk was called Ayak because
Gross.
of yards after catch.
Because he pukes all the time? Cool.
No, YAC, buddy.
Because when you get to the playoffs, he suddenly becomes bad. That's just not...
What is this? What is this website?
Oh, that actually is kind of true. Oh my God.
What?
When he gets to the playoffs, he's just bad.
Ayuk?
In 9 playoff games, he has 393 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, well, where is Garrett Wilson's playoff stats?
You know what? Fair enough. You see, But you can't argue he's worse because he's never gotten the chance.
So, hold on. If I were to send you a link to a website, is there any possible way you could have that show up on the video?
Possibly.
Okay. So from looking up Brandon Ayuk nickname, I was presented with this beautiful website. Hopefully
I don't know
Geek
how to
will
open
put it
this
in.
without exposing our DMs. Send it to me on Twitter.
Okay. I'll send it to you on Twitter.
Cool.
Because this is quite beautiful.
No, we can go Wilson, then Ayuk, and then DJ
Okay.
Moore.
I just want to say I don't know the context of this, but it's
you know who we left
beautiful.
out? Jordan Addison.
You know who we left out? Darnell Mooney.
Okay, that's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
You know who we left out? No, wait, he plays tight end now.
Who?
N'Keal Harry.
Yeah, he was apparently working out with the Vikings tight ends.
Yeah,
which
no,
now
Kevin
means
O'Connell
he has
said straight up.
less of a chance to make the roster.
I was gonna say, first of all, Kevin O'Connell said straight up he's a tight end now.
Nice.
In a interview. Second of all, you have the best third tight end in football. Why are we making guys into tight ends?
So I think it's just because we don't know where Hawk's going to be week 1.
Oh, okay.
That would be my assumption.
That's not the link.
Okay, that's
That's
worse.
not
Actually, hold
correctly.
on. Because that's why we brought in Big Bob Tunyon.
Yes.
Yeah, N'Keal Harry's just not making the
It won't
roster.
Let me send you the link.
Oh. What am I trying to find on his?
So I just looked up
I'm trying to
Brandon.
Is it thebrandonayuk.com?
No, that's his website. Yeah. No, what I found was something from nationstates.net, which is detailing the Republic of wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, which is apparently a moralistic democracy. I don't know the context of this.
The Republic of wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, moralistic democracy, region
Atlanticana?
Atlanticana.
Currency.
Civil rights
ruble.
unheard of. Fucking what?
Economy good, political freedom excellent. This is what it has written. The Republic of wide receiver Brandon Ayuk is a huge, safe nation remarkable for its public floggings, compulsory military service, and restrictive gun laws. The hard-nosed, hard-working democratic population of 847 million wide receiver Brandon Ayukians are highly moralistic and fiercely conservative in the sense that they tend to believe that most things should be outlawed. People who have good jobs and work quietly at them are lauded, others are viewed with suspicion. The medium-sized moralistic government juggles the competing demands of defense, administration, and law and order. The average income tax rate is 17.5%.
Stop. Nation states is a game.
Okay, still, either way, this is incredible.
You can just create a nation.
This is incredible. Also, parents must choose their children's names from a government-mandated master list. The new foreign policy is, quote, why bother invading neighbors when they can be bought wholesale?
I don't like it here anymore. But back to my Jordan Addison propaganda. I mean, he did have 10 touchdowns. And he is the fastest receiver 11. In the league.
What?
Yeah. Who else got busted driving 185 miles an hour on the freeway?
Crime tax.
But it was to get his dog to the vet, so no crime.
It is a small price to pay for the life of a canine to not be placed in the Run the North top 10 wide receivers.
No, I'm just
list.
saying we're throwing names. We should. I mean, okay, I'm putting him in the same, Puka, Sam Laporta thing where it's just like, hey, rookie who played out of his mind, throw name. Now, to be fair, he both benefited from and was worse off because of Justin Jefferson.
Sure.
Worse off when Jefferson played because that meant second target. But then JJ got hurt for the first time ever, which meant lead receiver, and he just cooked for a couple weeks. And then really got screwed by the Nick Mullins of it all.
Yeah. So, top 6. We know who number 1 is.
So we put DJ at 7, right? Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, we know who number 1 is.
So top 6.
This is going to get interesting because I know you and I are going to vehemently disagree on the placement of one player.
Which one player?
I just want to preface this by saying it's not because I think this player is bad or has fallen off or taken a step back. It's just because I am so high on 2 very specific players. And that player is Tay Adams.
I don't think Tay goes at 6. I'm not sure, but I just don't think it's Tay.
Okay.
Because Tay is...
For me, it's either Tay or Jamar.
Okay, interesting, but I'm kind of okay with that. Because Tay, I think the only argument is Jefferson, but I think he's the best route runner here by kind of a decent... Him and Jefferson are close.
Yes.
As route runners, but outside of that, I don't think anyone else is close.
I think CD is in that conversation.
His route tree's not as big. Tay can do everything, and he maybe has the best.
What is CD
receiver.
running?
I don't know. I'm just yapping at this point, I think.
I was gonna say, like, I don't disagree that Tay and Jefferson are 1 and 2.
Right.
I just think CD's 3, and it's not by a wide gap. And
That's
also,
fair.
I think CD is better. How do I want to put this?
After the catch?
He's better after the catch.
That'll give you for sure.
Yeah, I also think compared to Tay, obviously not counting Jefferson because he's out of this.
Right.
I think he's better at the catch point than Tay too.
That's fair. Oh, and CD wasn't even, honestly, the other guy I have an argument about is just AJ Brown in general.
I think AJ Brown being the best contested catch receiver in football is
I don't know about that.
Brother, you know how they call it 50-50 balls?
I'm just talking about the number 1 guy. Because he's catching the 0-100 balls that are to the other team.
We'll ignore him because he's completely removed.
He was the only guy I was arguing about. It's like, dude, have you seen some of the dumb shit that motherfucker does?
I'm just saying, they call them 50-50 balls. With AJ Brown, it's 95-5 balls.
Right.
He's not dropping a contested catch. He can make plays after the catch. Yeah. He's an incredible route runner, not on the same level as like a CD or a Tay or a Jefferson. But he has it all, and he's better in contested catch situations than the rest of them.
I have another thing to bring up.
Okay.
How high? Let me double check an age thing. How high are we putting the 30-year-old speedster who missed a bunch of games with injury? Well, not a bunch, but missed a game and then was very held back by injury and a few others. Because he should have broken the 2,000 mark, but injuries. And that might be a concern.
I'd have him at 4, personally.
And this isn't Tyreek hate. This is just when the reason you are in the argument for top 5 is your speed, you hit 30, we have to start asking questions.
Right, which is why I say he would be at 4.
Because, like, the reason Tay gets to be here is because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because his route running is, like, the end of Tay's career will still look like Adam Thielen's does right now. Where it's like, you don't want him as your number 1 guy, but he's still going to get you 1,000 yards and 10 tuds because it just doesn't matter that he's slower than you. His route running is just so clean that he's going to be open and he's going to get targets. Tyreek doesn't have that. Um, so you're thinking Reek at 4.
Yeah.
You're
Chase
thinking
at 5, Tay at 6.
I think I want to use my big argument. Let's put Tay at 5, Chase at 6. Entirely hearkening back to our argument of availability. Tay
Okay.
doesn't miss games.
Okay.
Chase misses games.
I don't hate that.
That's the only thing, because I think it's very close.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And I think if we were just arguing talent, we're moving Jamar much farther up this list.
I don't know about much further.
I would, if we're just talking talent, I'd be arguing for like the top 3.
I'd say his ceiling's 4 talent-wise.
Really? I don't know if AJ Brown is that much more talented.
I am a staunch AJ Brown
I'm
enjoyer
totally
and
down
defender.
for CD, because I think talent-wise, you can make the argument he's second, and it's just right now.
Can I say something a little wonky?
Go ahead.
I just think he's second, period.
I agree, actually. I think this wasn't the only place we were going to disagree was Tay. I think is the only one, because I think it's Chase, Tay, Tyreek, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. I think it's also wild that the 2 best receivers in football came out of the same draft class.
Yes. I want to say I love Adonai Mitchell so much because he taught me how to appreciate CeeDee Lamb. Because when I sat down and watched Adonai Mitchell for the first time, I was so blown away by what I saw. It was so incredible from all angles, from the route running standpoint, from the just understanding football standpoint, from understanding how to manipulate defenders with false steps, and just being able to bait guys and make big plays and just do everything he does. I was so mesmerized by it. I was so blown away by it. I was obsessed with Adonai Mitchell. And then the moment I saw Brett Coleman say he's just CeeDee Lamb, I went back and I watched CeeDee Lamb in Dallas, and it was like night and fucking day on not how different they are, but just how much better CD is. And to be better than somebody who was my favorite receiver in the class, like by that much. Oh my, I don't understand how CD isn't a consensus top 3 receiver.
Because
I really
he's a
don't
cowboy.
get it. I guess that's what it is, the cowboy tax, whatever. Fuck that, I don't care.
And I've always been on the CD
incredible
train, because, again, even though I don't watch college football like that, he was an Oklahoma guy. So it's just like you with North Carolina. Even though you don't watch it, there's still just always North Carolina guy. He's him.
You are on the agenda now.
Right. That's how it goes for Oklahoma guys and CDs. So CD's always been there. Funnily enough, CD was the guy I wanted in that class, but then I saw the Cowboys wanted him, and I was like, nope.
Wrong.
Cool.
And then he ended up being really good.
Then I went for Trayvon. I wanted Trayvon, especially because we just traded Stephon. I was like, that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
And then we picked Jefferson, and I was like, we can still go get Trayvon because we had 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
I was like, just do it
Who
anyways.
was your other first rounder that year?
Jeff Gladney.
Yikes.
R.I.P. Right? Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
What?
Now I look like a dick.
Yeah, but that was...
I didn't know he was Pat.
He died in a car accident, but it was after he'd been cut by the Vikings and moved to Arizona. Like,
that's right.
It was kind of a yikes, other than...
Yikes pick, rest in peace, though, because I totally forgot he passed. I do remember that.
I wanted Jeff Gladney to be so good, man. The Vikings have a whole history of corners that I wanted to be so good, and they just... You remember Cam Dantzler?
Remember when I was pushing Cam Dantzler narratives?
I still don't understand what the hell happened. It's not even like he started playing bad. He just stopped playing and then bounced to every team. I genuinely don't know what happened to Cam. We need a 30 for 30 on what the hell happened to Cam Dantzler.
After we get a 30 for 30 on Miller football, we'll put that through.
But yeah, it was weird because
So-
Jeff Gladney only got like one season. I don't really know what all happened there. But yeah, I wanted
have no idea.
Diggs, and because I thought that'd be funny. I wanted him with the first pick just because I thought it would be funny of what if we used the pick we traded your brother for to pick you. Because that's haha funny.
So, since you brought up a Diggs story, just because it's on the topic, have I told you the story about the video I most regret deleting in all of my content creation?
What's that?
So, there was a tweet, and it was right after Diggs had his big record-breaking interception season. And someone tweeted out and said, I bet Bears fans are sick to their stomach right now. And it was because Jalen Johnson went the pick before Trayvon Diggs. And so I made like a 15-second TikTok. And I said, I saw this tweet. Why would Bears fans be upset about having the better corner?
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, this was like, what
Yeah.
would it have been, like 2021?
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people in that video that agreed because, Diggs was still this like big polarizing figure. You
Still
either
is
thought he was
now.
burnt toast or he still is, right? But this was the peak of it.
Yeah.
Where you thought he was either burnt toast or the second coming. So it got big. It got like 200,000 views. Half the comments were, "This kid's cooking. Let him cook. Let him cook." The other half was like, "You're a fucking moron. Kill yourself." And I deleted it because I got annoyed by all the Cowboys fans. Because this was when I was in my phase of like, God, I can't stand this many comments. If I would have made this video like 2 years later, under the same context, obviously, it would have been fine. Looking back on it now, the fact that I can't go back and victory lap that video bothers me so
man.
bad.
Though it is still close. It's not like Diggs is bad.
It's not that Diggs is bad. It's that Jalen might be the best corner in football. He's top
insane.
3. He's top 3. It's him, Sauce, and Surtain.
I was gonna say right now the only other two I can think of are Sauce and Surtain, but give me
They're
a minute.
top 3.
Did Jalen switch to number 3 because he should have?
1.
He should have switched to 3
No,
just
it's
because.
retired.
I don't care. I really don't. Isn't it
I do.
Hallis's number?
No, it's Broncos.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Still,
Hallis's was
don't
7.
care. You want to
No,
know
he
why?
switched-
Because then we'll see when we get to the cornerback video. Because I don't know if I could name another corner right this
Oh,
second.
because it would go 1, 2, 3. Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he switched to 1 because that's what he wore at Utah.
Sure.
And it was so funny because when it came out, there were Bears fans, the idiot Bears fans were divided. Because one half was like, wow, he's changing his number in honor of our glorious king, Justin Fields. He's doing it in memory of his teammate. And then the other half was like, why would he take Justin's number? That's so disrespectful. What's wrong with him? And then there's people like me like, yay, Aura, cool number.
Yeah, 1 on a corner goes hard as long as you're good.
CB1, wear 1.
Too bad-
CB1 in Chicago.
I was gonna say too bad. Well, and I was just thinking of other teams, and I'm like, I don't know. Surtain, I don't know. 2's correct.
Yeah.
You know.
It
And then I
looks
think
good,
of a
yeah.
team like the Vikings. It's like, who is corner 1 though?
Mekhi Blackman.
I'm so down for that narrative, but I don't know. Byron Murphy exists. A Caleb Evans still exists. I'm glad I pushed narratives for him multiple
Well,
times.
it's good to know there is one Caleb Evans on the
No,
Vikings.
Caleb Evans. Oh,
Yeah, a Caleb Evans.
Yeah. Who else we got? I mean, Shaq Griffin's there now.
Buddy, I think it's time to have a conversation.
I think it's funny because when Shaq Griffin first hit free agency leaving Seattle, I wanted him so bad. So for
Yeah.
him to end up as a Viking now, it's just like, really? We had to wait 5 years to do that? Really?
Yeah. You see, funny story about Shaq Griffin. Funny story. This came up in my day-to-day life the other day. My mom came in my room. She said, hey, did you do the dishes? I just yelled back, Shaq Griffin. And I could see her smile because she knew the dishes were washed.
Watch out. You did not, horrible joke, die. So, you know what I do want to bring up, though?
Can we bring up our top 10 receivers real quick?
Yeah, let's go
before
through.
we do that?
Okay, actually, first, I know we kept saying, he's in a tier of his own, but let's give it we praised CeeDee Lamb. Can we give some praise to the best
Darnell
receiver
Mooney.
alive? No.
Tyler Scott.
You
Greg Dortch.
Can we be serious for one moment?
Traylon Burks.
Excuse me?
Punt gunner extraordinaire.
I'm going to kick you.
Who else is in the league? Amari Rogers.
Miller.
Bill Melton.
Can we not with the memeing today?
D'Brickashaw Ferguson. Final answer.
How about Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, that guy's pretty good.
Like, when you're a guy, like, it's not normal for us to have a receiver that is wide receiver one where you can, outside of speed, argue that he's like the best at every other part of playing a receiver.
Yeah.
Like, he's got an argument for best route runner. He's got an argument for best at the catch point, best contested catch. Like, the dude is just not normal.
Yeah.
The fact that coming out of college, people thought he wasn't the best receiver on his team, and he was the sixth receiver picked in his class is insane.
Remember when he was supposed to only be a slot?
Yeah, because he let Jamar play outside and he played in the slot. Like, and I'm not gonna say Jamar wasn't better in college. Maybe he was, but they also just. Good receiver rooms do this. They know, hey, maybe I'm better at this thing, so I'm going to play here, you're going to play there, and we're going to go kill it. We're not going to fight about it. It's the thing we already saw with Addison and Jefferson, and the thing we've seen with T and Jamar, and the thing we see all across the league with receivers. Yeah, you are better at that. You got that. And I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to do it damn good. Which is wild in a league full of, I don't know, we're supposed to think receivers are divas. There might only be one. Realist.
Who is the one diva? Oh, yeah. Oh,
there might only be one.
That was a really dumb question.
Even Odell is kind of grown up at this point. He's just doing his thing.
Yeah. He's just existed.
I think it's just Diggs at this point. Everybody else is just...
Not to go too off topic.
Yeah.
But did you see the Odell GIF be used for homophobic purposes?
No.
Oh my God. So someone on May 31st? Is that the end of May? It's 31st, right?
Yeah.
Last day of May, they tweeted out, "Oh no, gay month's tomorrow," or something like that. And it was the video of Odell throwing his helmet and fighting the net. And someone quote tweeted it and said, "This is really funny when you start to think about it, because in both instances, according to the tweet and the video of Odell, it's somebody throwing a hissy fit over a whole lot of nothing and attacking people for no reason."
Yeah.
I love that homophobes get owned on Twitter.com.
True.
But anyways, that Jefferson fella.
He's insanely good at football.
I just activated your sleeper agent. You went from Twitter to...
Yeah, what? That Jefferson fella. I wasn't on Twitter, actually. I've been looking at the other thing I wanted to bring up just because it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the amount of defensive backs the Vikings have right now is hilarious.
How many?
Defensive backs in total. Let's see. At left corner, we've got 4 guys on the depth chart. We've got 5 listed safeties. So that's 9. We're at 13 with right corner. And then at nickel, we're up to 16.
Hell yeah. Surely 5 of them can be good.
That's the thing, right? But that's why I keep saying, like, there's a decent shot. Like, Lewis Cine and Andrew Booth are not on this team because there's just so many guys. Like, you have to
Quessie's
be
a
good.
fraud. Fraud watch. Smoking that Quessie pack. His first picks are busts.
I don't know who Pulse's first picks were.
Brisker and Gordon.
Kyler Gordon's aight. I can't really bully Brisker. I'm not bullying Kyler Gordon either, but he's not. He's not
one of the 10 best
Brisker.
nickels in the sport.
Yeah, okay.
Kyler
but
Gordon's the better one of the two.
you think Kyler Gordon's better than Brisker?
Yes, wholeheartedly, absolutely.
I did see you say that Harrison Smith would be bad as a Bear, and after the way you gassed up the safeties who can do everything, saying, you know, the guy who did it first and best couldn't find a spot on your defense is the dumbest thing I think you've ever said.
I'm just saying, with the Bears' current defensive alignment, you're not taking one of the linebackers off the field. Edmonds, Edwards, and Sanborn are all comfortably sat in their spots.
I mean, I might for just to put Harrison Smith on the field. I would.
I disagree. Purely at linebacker, I disagree.
I'm just saying to put him on the field. Sanborn at linebacker might be as good at linebacker as Harrison Smith would be at linebacker. Sanborn, I think you're overrating a guy you just love, and I understand.
Sanborn would be LB1 on a lot of NFL teams, dude. He's really fucking good.
I don't know, man. Maybe because linebackers
LB1's pushing it. LB2. He'd be LB2 on almost on a lot of NFL teams.
I'm just like trying to think. I'm like, I don't know if he'd be one.
Yeah, he's not.
Now,
he's not a
Green Bay or Philly,
right?
But like,
he'd be LB2 on most NFL teams.
Sure.
He's really fucking good. Sure. He's one of those guys. Like, he's not a standout at any one thing, but he does everything.
But
then you're not taking Byard off the field.
I mean,
as
maybe
your true
you should.
Range save. I disagree.
The world decided Byard was washed.
The world was wrong. The world watched one good player in a bad secondary and decided that he was bad.
Sorry, I'm looking at Twitter again.
Either way, my main point with Grayson was, if you can pick any one player from another team in the division and you choose Harrison Smith,
I also just don't.
Not even as disrespect to Harrison Smith,
but for your team, that doesn't make. I don't.
Right.
I don't think Jefferson makes sense for your team either.
No. That's why the original post was Penei Sewell. Absolutely. Put him at left tackle over. I love Braxton Jones.
Sewell or Darisaw.
And then my other. Yeah, either way. One of the two tackles there.
Yeah.
My answer, because I wanted to do something completely different, was Rashawn Gary.
Ooh.
Getting another, like, legit stud edge opposite Montez Sweat. Because, listen, I love Austin Booker. He's got a bit of a road ahead of him. He's got to develop a little bit. For the right now, to have two stud edge rushers, and then to have Booker to rotate in on passing downs.
Since it's changed, you could also say Dalton Reisner now. Because he's back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Just speaking purely for the Bears, because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted to push pro Rashawn Gary on the timeline.
That's fair.
Rashawn Gary
I no longer have to care. Because I only ever wanted to argue for Daniil, but he's not on my team anymore, so I just don't give a fuck.
Tez is officially the best edge in the division.
I'll give you that. Because Daniil is gone. I would have argued for Daniil just
I would have understood. Like, I think I can understand it.
Yeah.
But I think Tez, Gary, Hutch is pretty easy 1, 2, 3.
For now.
Now, yeah.
Wait until Dallas Turner shows up and has 25 sacks as a rookie. That's not happening.
You will turn off Madden and then go to bed.
Bro,
not even play the Madden. Simmed Madden. You will sit there and watch the simulation because Lord knows you're not playing that game.
Yeah, no. Even against the computer, it's a bad game, dude. I only ever use it for rebuilds, and I'm like over that at this point. I really hope NCAA doesn't suck.
Dude, I might be the only person on the planet that's not like shitting themselves in excitement for...
Did you play the original?
I did. I'm just not as into college football. It doesn't excite me as much.
See, but okay, you have to look at this from, here's the important part. Think about what is more fun as a video game. College football is more fun in video game form than the NFL can possibly be.
I just like the
Because,
NFL more.
like, you have to think about an NFL team or season. One regular season game means nothing. Like, your random week 2 means nothing. Every game in college football matters. So when you're playing, you can't just go, well, I can afford to lose this one. Nope, you can't afford to lose a game because suddenly you're not in the playoff at all.
Yeah, and I mean that's fair.
So everything has meaning, and it's kind of more fun to build up a school than an NFL team because money is all that matters in football.
I'm not trying to be like the rain on everybody's parade. Like, I think NCAA is overrated.
No, I'm just saying, as somebody who also doesn't like college football as much, in video game form, college football's better.
Listen, I say this now. I'll probably change my mind after I do my first dynasty with my actual D2 school that I attend put into NCAA. But like, I don't know, just on paper, I'm not like, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to own it. I'm excited to play it because it's something different. But I'm not over here like counting down the days, shaking and pissing because NCAA is a month away. It's like, oh, that's cool. I'm more excited to get Cyberpunk on Thursday. Like,
so real quick, our top 10 receivers, we're going to wrap this up because me and Miller are going to yap for another hour, but that's okay. So our top 10 receivers were, I've already forgotten. So Miller.
I got it written down. Justin Jefferson at number 1, CeeDee Lamb at number 2, AJ Brown at number 3, Tyreek Hill at number 4, Devontae Adams at number 5, Jamar Chase at number 6, Denniston Oliver Moore Jr. at number 7, Brandon Ayuk at number 8, Garrett Wilson at number 9, and Mike Evans at number 10, with honorable mentions basically to Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs.
Who both play on the same team, which is wild.
Yes.
So the Texans got to have the highest expectations out of any team next year, right?
Yep. If they don't win every single game ever, CJ Stroud is a bust and Ohio State will be disbanded.
I don't know about that.
Too bad.
Like, you know, if they miss the playoffs, we got to have some talks. Unless, like, of course, CJ gets injured week 1, then, like...
Nah, they can win with Daddy Longneck, Davis Mills.
Case Keenum's the backup, but okay.
Who?
I mean, who was QB2 last year?
Fuck if I know, it didn't matter.
Stroud got pulled multiple times, and it was always for Keenum. Stroud also got, like, put out of the game with a concussion. And I think he missed a game. And because Keenum did both.
Yeah, that was the Browns game. That was the Browns game.
They gave Davis Mills the start and benched him in the first quarter for Keenum because you're bad, which is tough. Poor Davis.
But Davis Mills is a Bears legend, and I will love him forever for getting us Caleb.
That's just Lovey.
He's the one well, it was Lovey's decision. Davis still had to execute the throw, and then it was Adkins, the tight end, who made the big play.
Yeah, but there you have it. Those are our top 10 tight ends and wide receivers. I don't think we have anything else we need to talk about on the podcast. Me and Miller will probably continue this yap session like we always do.
Brother, it's 4:10 in the morning. I'm going to bed after this
He
is
says
done.
that until I bring up what I see on my fucking Twitter right here.
Skibbity hibbity doobity dabbity.
Skibbity toilet. Moving on.
You said the no word.
Toilet?
Gen Z. They're trying to cancel this man like you're canceling Eminem.
Bro, I am Gen Z.
Gen what's the babies?
Alpha. Which is so fucked up.
Alpha?
Why are you gonna be Gen Alpha? That's so
what
sick.
Do they think they're Andrew Tate?
Well, they didn't come up with the name.
Andrew Tate should be eradicated from existence.
All right, this has gone off the rails.
Am I wrong?
This is just where we're gonna call it. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment.
Wait.
The Pokeball, there's nothing in it.
What's in it? You are correct.
Let's go! I got one.
Finally, he got it right.
No, hey, I think that might be the second one I've gotten. But
yeah, I think you got dice once or something.
But yeah, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow on Spotify. I don't know how that works. Miller, say one thing. Didn't come through.
Well, that's dumb.
Bye.